Okay, so here we are live with Erin and Kayla from Thingamatink.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, and this is Peter from Boxteak, and we're here in Oakland in their studio. Okay, so what is Thingamatink?
Well, Thingamatink is a children's toy and picture book pairing, and we're using those two parts to help kids learn how to try new experiences and not be afraid to fail.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. And the toy is like a blanket for it. It has like different zippers and snaps. It's based off of origami, and you can make different shapes out of it, whatever you think of, or there are specific shapes that our character makes in the story that you can form as well.
Can we see the toy for a second?
Yeah. Well, these are all very early stuff, but this is the prototype up here that we're currently in the middle of crowdfunding for to get it made by a professional.
Yeah, you're on Kickstarter now, right?
Yeah. So we have.
How many days do you have left on Kickstarter?
4, almost 3. So we're almost there, which is really exciting. But this is it. Yep. So we got our zippers here and then our snaps. So it's designed in a way that it makes all the exact forms that our main character Francis does in our picture book, so that kids can create right alongside with the character and experience what she experiences. But then also has all the different like origami geometry shapes so that they can create their own thing.
Yeah, can we see the picture book here?
Sure.
So this is you have this is the prototype, or this is
this is the rough copy of the picture book. When it's published, everything's going to be in full color in the style that you see in these illustrations, but I just did everything in rough black and white to show people how I'm planning on doing it. So the story is called Thingamatink. The Thingamatink is the toy. And Frances, our character, she's an inventor, and at the start she's competing in this invention convention. And so you see her, she's getting ready to show her toy, and then someone trips on it and paint spills, and basically chaos ensues.
How did you come up with this story? Like, what inspired you to come up with this story?
So it's actually based on me and Erin's fears in the creative process. We were talking, and we were like, well, what are the things that we usually go through when we're trying to make something new? What are the obstacles that we face? And then I tried to think of visual ways to represent those things, and from that came up with an adventure story. So for example, let's see, so when they're sailing across the water, they come across a monster. So she's gaining confidence, she's really excited, she's got this new idea, she's doing cool things, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, it's too hard, and she wants to give up. So that's like the monster that she comes across. So she just continues to come across all these different obstacles, and each time she has to come up with a way to solve the problem in a creative way.
I see. So the girl solves all these problems through, and then she overcomes her fear because of that. Yeah. Now, how would you recommend parents to use the toy to pair with the book? Like, how should we tell the story as we're kind of going through the story first, and then show the different ways to use the toy, or how does?
Yeah, we could do like maybe a good example is, can you tell the part of the story where she goes in the fish?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So at this point in the story, Frances has arrived at the island she's been trying to reach for the whole story, and now she wants to go home. She misses her family, but her toy is wrecked, and she needs to find a way to get home. And she realizes that she's going to need to be able to fly to get back, and so she turns her toy into like this flying fish kind of contraption, and then is able to fly away home. And then the toy can also make a fish shape.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so like the fish shape for that one, So that's where this part comes in. This is probably one of the main shapes that we like to show kids because they really love the fish tail. That makes them kind of laugh. So there's his tail right there. And then this part forms his body.
So do you recommend, so the parents would make this first for the child, or the child would
because
also,
for ages like 3, 4, like it would be a little bit more challenging. This is like a great thing that parents can do with their kids.
Yeah.
I think at that kind of young age, it's more like, oh, like I see snaps and I see zippers, and you see those connections made in their head that they just want to start putting things together. When you start getting a little bit older, then you're starting to put pictures and images and starting to identify what these shapes are, and then eventually start making their own things. So it kind of depends on what age you're at. I think at an earlier age, it's a great way for parents to connect with their kids and doing something together.
I see. We had a question from the audience earlier, like, how did you come up with the idea originally? I think you might have answered that first, but you can just reiterate that one.
Yeah, so for the toy, I originally had always wanted to make like a children's soft goods product, and for me it kind of came from my own thing of like, I always had a comfort blanket growing up, and I feel like most kids do, and most kids love building forts out of blankets. And so for me, I was like, oh, wouldn't that be great if that was just one thing, to make that blanket form into all these different structures, as opposed to using books and chairs and all these other things that kind of sometimes tumble on your fort. So, and then I thought it was a great place, because since it's this area of comfort, it's a great safe place for kids to kind of address these fears of failure in, which connects back to our story.
Yeah. So some the kid can maybe hide behind the blanket too, because you were showing that before, right? In some of the
it depends. Like, I think it's very flexible to what kids want to do. It's funny when we saw it at West Coast Craft and Maker Faire. Like, smaller kids have this ability to like go underneath. Actually, even 12-year-olds were like making a burrito out of it, so I guess they can go inside of it too.
Yeah.
So it's really up to the kids' imagination. Some kids are making it just flat pieces, making it to look like different shapes. Definitely a lot younger kids. I saw parents like putting their kids underneath it and kind of doing this whole peekaboo effect, which is very common at that age. So it's really kind of up to the family what they want to do.
And somebody was asking, how did they buy this? How would they actually buy something like this?
Yeah, so right now you can get it through our Kickstarter. If you go to our website, then you can get either the book by itself, the toy by itself, or you can get them together.
Oh, okay. So basically just by supporting the Kickstarter campaign, you would get that.
Yeah.
Can you show like what else, like another example of what you can make with this one?
Sure. So another thing that is pretty common is to make something that's like a basic tent shape. It's kind of like doing like that.
Oh, I see. And they can kind of go in, like put their head in.
Yeah, so this was kind of one that, like a little, I think it must have been like 1 or 2 was kind of going into, which is great for like ages when they're just trying to crawl around and explore the world. And then we did one earlier where we actually just flipped it over, and we put like a blanket inside of here, and we put like stuffed animals, and just was kind of like this boat, which this is actually big enough for like a little kid to kind of get in and sail away into their whatever dreams.
Have you seen a lot of kids start to get creative with this and make their own shapes and just kind of do whatever they want with it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the exciting part. So, I mean, for us, when we put this out, we are going to put like little instructions for like the basic shapes that are coming from our story, but after that, it's really kind of up to them what they want to build. I've been playing with a lot of different shapes, which I've actually been posting on like Facebook and Instagram, and those just kind of came off the fly.
Yeah.
So I didn't really document how I did those, but I guess I could. So there's like a lot. It's really kind of up to them. I mean, my favorite part actually are these zippers because they're like double zippers, and you can like pull them out into like different ways, and you're like, oh, I don't know, it's a head with a tail, and you know, it's interesting what kids make connections with. I found sometimes it's not like super like this is a house, but you kind of, when you play with it, it becomes to life. So
yeah, that's really cool. Do you have do you have Facebook page, Twitter feed, all those?
We do. They're all under Thingamatink.
Thingamatink. And how do you, what's the inspiration for the name? How did that come about?
Yeah. It's because it's like, you know, when you have like a thingamabob or like, I don't know, do other people use that word? Like, you don't know what to call it. But it's like,
thingamajig, thingamabob.
A thingamajig, a thingamabob. But we were like, oh, but we're like tinkering and like playing around and trying things, so it's a thingamatink.
Mm-hmm.
And we just thought that captured our idea pretty well.
Yeah.
And luckily, we're the only thingamatink that there is.
Yeah.
So if you Google Thingamatink,
right?
it's all about us.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's all us. Yeah.
And so somebody was asking any sketches. What do you mean by sketches? I guess.
For the story or for the toy?
I guess the sketches is for the story. Yeah.
Yeah, I can show you some sketches. So, this was the initial drawing that I did when I thought of Frances. And that was for a competition for the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And I just did that for the challenge, and then I fell in love with that character and continued to work with her before she looked like this. So you can see that she's changed a lot. But I just thought that the other girl just had so much personality.
She looks like this one is very energetic and very.
So I stuck with her, and then Felix is her dog. He's kind of he's like this all-suffering wise character that kind of puts up with Frances's energy and ideas.
So on this wall, these are all Frances, right?
All of these, I was just trying to get the feel of Frances and like, you know, like she's eating her cereal. How does she eat her cereal? Is she like grossed out by it? You know, she's trying to carry a lot of things. They fall down. Yeah. She's playing dress up.
Yeah, all the evolution of Frances, right?
Yeah.
If there's like one thing that you if you want children to kind of learn from Frances, like what would that be? Is it her like determination, or is it like courage?
I think it's that she's just a normal kid, but she and it's just that any normal kid can take their ideas and like do something with them, and they can be afraid, and it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to fail, and you can just accept that as part of the process of like being a human, you know.
Are you creating a book series, or is this the only one that you have planned so far?
We are hoping to create a book series, but we'll see how this goes. But we've been talking about that a lot, about how we kind of want to make a series of books that's like, you know, like Arthur or Jimmy Neutron, where it's like talking about life skills, but it's like an adventure, so it's really exciting to read, but it helps kids like build those basic skills like public speaking, or things that might be kind of difficult to deal with and understand and face, but because there's like this relatable character, they can have more courage to do those things too.
So for those of you that's just joining us, we're here in Oakland in the Thingamatink's studio with Erin and Kayla, and they're running a Kickstarter campaign to support the creation of the toy and the book pairing. So let me just kind of show this one more time here. So this is the book, right? The storybook. And this blanket can be turned into many different shapes. And with the age range, appropriate age range is between like 3 to 7 or... Yeah,
our target has been 3 to 7. But like we said, we kind of noticed that even up to age 12, like kids have been kind of getting into it.
They've been using it. So yeah, so definitely check out their website, their Kickstarter campaign. How many days? You have 3 days
Basically
remaining?
3 days left.
Okay, so yeah, so definitely check
We're
that
85% there, so just a little
and
left
if there's,
to go.
how do they contact you if they have any particular questions, or they just go to the Kickstarter site and they can just...
You can connect with us through Kickstarter, or I mean, if you want to email, I think our email's on there, but it's inventors@thingamatink.com.
Okay. Thingamatink, Thingamatink.
Yes, good job.
It's a long word.
And we have the studio cat here.
Sammy the cat.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Yeah, thank you.
And don't forget to check out their Kickstarter campaign. And also follow our Periscope feed if you haven't done that. And double click on the screen to like our feed too. All right, we'll tune in next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.